January 24th, 2026. My content is not for everyone. No, infiltrate, don't be goddamn, it's not us. Oh, okay. Always be yourself and normal intentions. Inspiration is different when they will never understand your vision when it comes to your faith. They would try to discourage you because hold on one second, they want you to be in a mindset not of having hope. Because hold on one second, they discourage you when it comes to their own vocabulary, or because you understood your consciousness is different when it comes to hold on one second, you understand your vocabulary. Choosing yourself to balance hope within. They will never understand how you truly step into hold on one second, understand your reflection, maintain the smile they can relate to. They try to get physical with you, or because you understood that hold on one second, I was trying to become my best self vision of myself, even when they diss me. It be the train of thought for me. How when you actually understand that hope is different, they will never understand how you truly step in. No, ever trick on me. Oh, be yourself. I'm not edging. I respect that my content is not for everybody. To the genuine ones with no messages, I truly hope all is well in your end. I say respectfully. I'm currently live. It's currently 10:17 now, and it's January 24th, 2026. I would never hurt myself regardless of praying on my downfall. To the genuine ones, regardless who didn't see your potential and all, I respect you, love you, or protect you at the end of the day, never give up on yourself because you poured into the wrong cup. And I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone. Not infiltrate off me. You know, always be yourself and no malicious, especially when you fall from a hater. No, infiltrate off of me. Be yourself. You know, entertainment purposes only. You know, when it comes to my creativity, I work alone. I always have since day one. It's the trade of me. Always be yourself and no malicious intentions. I am my biggest cheerleader, and I say respectfully regardless of praying my downfall. What's competition if chicks and dudes ain't got bars? They try to school you only rest the hold on one second. You understood that your remedy is different when it comes to your comfort zone. When you actually had attention span and actually know how to motivate when it comes to hold on one second, catching your blessings. You wasn't trying to get discouraged because someone's lack of faith. You understood why you was truly stepping and recognized that hold on one second, God saved me today. No, ever trade over. Always be yourself. Always be yourself when someone tries to kick you down. I say it respectfully. Never give up on yourself when someone prays on your downfall. Loving yourself is not a crime. They were so quick to judge you because you was actually stepping, believing and hope. It was never one-sided conversation because you was praying to go within. That was God's intuition. They would never understand. They couldn't humble you even on your rainy day. You been dealing with child and tribulations, just a child point of view, going into adulthood. Hold on one second. They would never understand how you truly capable of loving yourself, to better yourself. Even when they were sending you spell work in a toxic way, make you feel so bent out of shape. Regardless, you showing you, hold on one second, you was far from a mistake. You know, chicks and dudes will put themselves in a vocabulary, all because you understood confidence. At the end of the day, wasn't trying to get discouraged by the enemy, let alone the devil. They would never understand how you level up. Infiltrate on me. Always be yourself. Infiltrate on me. Love yourself. I'm Naya, Junior Love Respect. And my content is not for everyone. And I say that respectfully. It's not a crime to be authentic. It's currently January 24th, 2026, and it's 10:19 p.m. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect, and my content is not for everyone. Entertainment purposes only. No, infiltrate on me. I said what I said. Entertainment purposes only. Yeah, the mind your business, the mind your business. Holiday time start to come around, or you decide to go out, whatever the case may be. But Bay said, you know what? I'm gonna make sure you get to your destination safe. Infiltrate over me. You wasn't trying to be shortchanged in your life today. No, infiltrate over me. This fool decided to say, you got a soul driver. What you mean? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? When you start dating someone new from being big single, you don't mind, trying new things or whatever the case may be, but that was not part of your vocabulary. No. You mean to tell me it's not a driver within the seat, within being in the seat? You trying to shortchange my attention span already. I see. I want to see tomorrow. It's the train on me. You're going to be fine. It's safe. If it wasn't safe at the end of the day, they wouldn't have this as an option. It was truly a mistake. Why would you waste your goddamn money on doing some dumb shit like that? Hello? My content is not everybody. It takes a brave person when it comes to their strength, when it comes to your vocabulary, at the end of the day, to come out your comfort zone, when it comes to your skin. How chicks and dudes are praying your downfall, paint you at the end of the day, hold on, want to smile more. But who would have knew coming out your comfort zone, how things actually happen when it comes to prospering in life? Elevation is different. Even when folks is trying to dim your light, discovery, try to ruin your reputation, but God was stepping for you. They would never understand that energy is different. Being authentic. My content is not for everybody, and I say that respectfully. It's not. I'm Naya, genuine respect, and this is peace. Peace and respect, show respect to neighbor. Stop the violence, I said what I said. Stop the violence, you matter, you're worthy. Don't get discouraged by the enemy. Let alone the devil try to hate you. Wait, hold on 1 second. They got so much hate within their animosity. They projecting on you because you understood your conscience. Believing in faith, continue to step. We all ain't gotta pray the same, but I know how to respect my neighbor, even on their worst. They be trying to throw for me, regardless of their tax bracket. Love yourself. Hold on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Monday, self-love every day. Tuesday, self-control every day. Wednesday, motivation every day. Thursday, choose yourself even when they overlook you. Hold on 1 second. Even when they try to dish you, they said that you need a tissue at the end of the day because you wear your heart in your sleeve, but they said the grass is greener on the other side. It was never no in-between. When folks is truly for you at the end of the day, they know how to respect you, far from pretending. Elevate, 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 be yourself. Hold on 1 second. Where we at, Naya? We just did Thursday, Friday. Friday, you matter, you're worthy. Never get discouraged. Here goes Saturday. Hold on 1 second. When you fall from the hater, elevate, elevate, elevate. Don't dim your light. Sunday, never give up on yourself. A blessing, fall from a curse when you understand your reflection. The light within you when you understand that the sun going to shine when it come to your world. Love yourself, don't dim your light. Continue to blossom, butterfly. Multiply your blessings. Loving yourself. Never let someone shortchange your dream. Choosing yourself, your best self vision of yourself. Never in between. Be patient with yourself. Yeah, I messed up, but I'm a puppet. Just like, hold on 1 second. Being a puppet or just being a human. We mess up in times, but it's okay to correct your wrong. And it's okay to not understand. Practice makes perfect. I'm a little under the weather, but you know what? I still showed up. Thank you, Naya, for being patient with me. To the junior ones, no misintentions. I actually hope all is well in your end. You're bad and you're worthy. Loving yourself is not a crime. We started this live at 10:15 p.m. and it's currently January 24th, 2026. Naya, how am I doing? You're doing good, peace. Yay! Always be yourself. Love yourself. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's because moments to the genuine ones with no misintentions. Continue to call your energy back from the enemy, let alone the devil. No negative energy over here. I love myself. I ain't trying to live my life. My soul wasn't for sale. I don't worship the devil. Love yourself. Don't dim your light when you fall from a hater. Hey, neighbor. It's 10:23 p.m. Always be yourself with no misintentions. You matter and you're worthy. Domestic violence, hate crime, discrimination, violence, you put a name in your book. Gang stalking is really real to your household. Individuals will clone your devices, hack your email, hack your mail, your accounts, or whatever the case may be you got going on when it comes to taking care of your personal business. They will monitor your phone calls and act like they're customer service when they're not. They will try to ruin your reputation all because you believe in faith when it comes to having hope, becoming your best self vision of yourself when you fall from tripping. They will read out your mail, your packages. They will even act like you received it. They will try to project negative energy towards people at the end of the day to paint you up to be so that you're truly not. So folks won't come towards you. How this type of stuff actually happens when you're trying to prosper in life. And they try to make you seem like you're bugging, you're crazy. They will try to get you locked up and put you in a sideboard and try to blackmail you against you. All because you're trying to elevate. They will even send you the evil lie or have malicious intentions towards you. Because we live in the spiritual world when it comes to, spell work and magic and witchcraft and stuff like that. It's a chain of thought for me. Hold on 1 second. Loving yourself is not a crime. And when you're becoming your best self vision of yourself, never get discouraged. And I say that respectfully, regardless of who's trying to discourage you. Being authentic is not a crime. So never give up on yourself. You matter, you're worthy. Gotta go. Stop the violence. I'm peace. I bring peace. Be respectful in the comment sections. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, you better well go look in the mirror and reflect and understand at the end of the day. We don't care. Hello. Have a good day. We don't live in fear, dumbass. Gotta go. Oh, Naya, I'm sorry. Nah, you good, peace. You ain't hurting nobody. You ain't hurting yourself. And you're not hurting me. At the end of the day, as long as you don't have malicious intentions, the energy is different. And it's not a crime to speak up for yourself when someone wishes you bad. It's okay, because God sees everything. And sometimes at the end of the day, it's okay to speak up for yourself. It's not that you're scary or you're a sucker or you're a punk at the end of the day. You just have boundaries, and it's okay to speak up for yourself. And I say that respectfully, even when folks try to distract you or make you feel like you're not worthy, because people will overlook you. And it's okay to have a heart. And even if you have a heart at the end of the day, it never changes. I gotta go. Peace and respect your neighbor. Stop the violence. I said what I said. Stop the violence. I'm not here to your respect that my content is not for everyone. And I say that respectfully. Loving yourself is not a crime. Today is currently January 24th, 2026. When it comes to my creativity, I work alone. I always have since day one. My content is not for everyone. It was more so the assumption. Chicks and dudes will put themselves part of a competition at the end of the day. Hold on one second. Let alone conversation. Putting themselves in competition with you when it comes to your reflection. Trying to dish you when it comes to your vocabulary. When it comes to your self-love. All because they didn't understand their own balance when it comes to, hold on one second, motivation. It motivated them, hold on a second, because they actually had lack. They thought they was actually motivating themselves to try to disrespect you because they said that you was whack. All because of the fact that you had faith within to have potential. Understand that, hold on one second, it wasn't an even exchange. When you understand, hold on one second, I was trying to overlook myself because someone's trying to project pain. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. Loving yourself is not a crime. Individuals will have malicious intentions towards you. And when God reveals the devil low and the enemy, that energy is different. You don't have to say someone's name for someone to feel at the end of the day that you're talking about them. Or you don't have to be specific about certain things when it comes to your childhood going into your adulthood when individuals have malicious intentions towards you. Individuals will project on you, try to kick you down, ruin your life, or try to make you feel like you're not worthy of believing in your faith. Never get discouraged. When God reveals his devil low and the enemy, they mask fall off. And you wasn't living in fear, good day, bad day, or misunderstanding day. My content is not for everyone, and I say that respectfully. No, it's a trick of me. Only be yourself with no malicious. You fall from having self-doubt. It wasn't part of your pain at the end of the day when they would never understand that healing process actually is different. Actually going within it was never competition. They would never understand how you truly elevate. Hold on one second, when it comes to your growth, that energy is different. You got chicks and dudes praying on your downfall because they don't want you to smile more. They want you to be in a mindset, hold on one second, dealing with depression, anxiety, PTSD, all because you understood that, hold on one second, if I didn't understand that receiving when it comes to my blessing, I would have shortchanged myself because you wanted me to not understand my own reflection. But when God works in mysterious ways, regardless even on your worst day, you dealing with homelessness, eviction, having a couple of bills in your pocket. Hold on one second. You may be short on a bill or two, may not have food in your fridge, but God restored you. They would never understand how you prospering in life at the end of the day when they don't want you to have peace with them because you truly paying attention. When you fall from a hater, they would never understand you wasn't trying to get discouraged. Even when they playing on your downfall, even when you get lost in your words at the end of the day, how God allowed you to smile more. Because when the right folks for you, the respect goes a long way. Hold on one second. It was never competition even on your worst day. Hold on one second. You was far from having self-doubt wasn't part of your pain, especially when you understood how to elevate. It was a process within the process actually stepping. They would never understand that hope is different. Actually understand I was healing childhood trauma, going into my adulthood, didn't think I was better than nobody, coming from poverty and pain. They would never understand how God fixed your crown, allow you to see that hold on one second time, allows you to heal, that hold on one second, it was never competition. Hold on one second, things would never be the same. Because the past you wasn't running from your reflection when it come to, hold on one second, this new introduction of you. Taking accountability for your action, that growth is different. They would never understand that, hold on one second, you was on a different time zone when it comes to, hold on one second, loving yourself, the better days ahead. Unconditional love started within. It wasn't a doubt at the end of the day because you put it in God's hands. We all don't pray the same, didn't have to worship the devil. Love on your soul was never for sale when you truly keeping it real. How chicks and dudes would disrespect you because you're willing to choose you regardless of what you're going through. They want you to be so bent out of shape when it comes to your vocabulary, but God allowed you to see, well, hold on one second, that light is different when it comes to having faith, faith within. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. I may not make sense to the average person, but that's okay. No, entertainment though for me. Entertainment purposes only. No, for real. It's currently 10:30 p.m. and it's January 24th, 2026. Entertainment purpose only. No, I have to check on me. It's the holiday times when it comes to your boo thing or whatever the case may be. They mindful at the end of the day, they putting too much pressure on them. No, that's the trade on me. You have been minding with the mind of your business, whatever the case may be. You want to do something romantic for babe, whatever the case may be. And you decide to say, I'm going to shave. That's the trade on me. Only reason to hold on one second, it wasn't an even exchange. You decide to use a new product when it comes to the shaving cream or whatever case you need. You put a name of your product. Hitler trained over me. Only to realize the hold on 1 second. You trying to be cute and romantic at the same time, and you mean to tell me that you forgot to understand the in between time frame to remove it? You apply it, but you forgot the time frame to realize. Hold on 1 second. 9, 9, 10. Help! They trying to figure out what's going on at the end of the day. Because they got to meet you at the ER. It's the train throw for me or Adrian Kid trying to figure out, hold on 1 second. This is so embarrassing. No, Edward straight told me. Nobody told you not to not read the instructions, dumbass. Your dumbass gonna say, oh, I thought it was just like everything else. Oh, backwards. Edward straight told me because you ass backwards with your stupid ass. No, for real. The doctor trying to figure out what they're figuring out is, so, another Valentine's Day special. Edward straight told me, you must go through this all the time. In between. All year round. Oh, and the trade though for me. This fool decided to say at the end of the day, I'm sorry, babe. Bet trying to figure out at the end of the day, what made you think that was okay? Out of all days out of the year. Hello. And the trade though for me to start something new with a new cream. For real. Make it make sense, dumbass. For real. This fool decided to say at the end of the day, I forgot to read the instructions. How you do that? It would take off me. Entertainment purposes only. It's funny how chicks and dudes will try to destiny swipe with you, but they can't relate to when it comes to your vocabulary, when it comes to being authentic. They talk so much shit behind spoken and toxic away. Hold on 1 second. You ain't even have to say someone's name when it comes to, hold on 1 second, they lack of soul control. What happened to your discipline? Actually being authentic. Originality starts within. It be the center though for me how chicks will try to compete with you, let alone dudes when it comes to your reflection, or because, hold on 1 second, you understood how to balance self-control. It be the center thought for you when you wasn't trying to lose control. Being your authentic self starts but then certain folks will never understand how you elevate when it comes to prospering because hold on 1 second, they didn't want you to participate, hold on 1 second, in loving yourself, the better days ahead. But losing yourself was never part of the conversation. I say that respectfully, they would never understand how a blessing can truly last. Self-love goes a long way. Even when chicks and dudes praying your downfall, even when you couldn't see at the end of the day. You dealt with so much childhood trauma going into your adulthood. They would never be able to walk a day in your shoes. Hold on 1 second. They would never understand your mindset, how you was willing to better yourself to understand God's tools that God endured within you. How God allowed you to see that sun hits different when it comes to your vocabulary, when it comes to your world. Hold on 1 second. The sun will always shine when you least expect it. Overcoming those rainy days, they would never understand your testimony hits different. Ever trade though for me. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. Never allow someone to discourage you because they praying on your downfall, and I say that respectfully. The fact they slept on you, the dissing at the end of the day was real, but who would have knew your mindset is different when you was far from mentally unstable, when you was truly keeping it real, how they praying on your downfall right to left, wanting to make you feel uncomfortable when it comes to your reflection, but hold on 1 second, God was really checking in at the end of the day, allowing you to see why your heavenly mother, Father God, and remove their hands off the wheel, allowing the testimony to truly keep it real. You wasn't running from, your reflection when it comes to, hold on 1 second, you wasn't running from your past. Taking accountability for your actions, they would never understand how God is truly stepping to show you at the end of the day how self-love can last. That energy is different. It be chicks and dudes praying on your downfall, sleeping on you at the end of the day, talking about you and nobody, but they was truly hating this whole entire time because they didn't want you to prosper. Because if they didn't, at the end of the day, they wouldn't have that mindset of, hold on 1 second, trying to dim your light when you understood that balance is different when it comes to, hold on 1 second, hope within. I may not make sense to the average person, but never give up on yourself, and I say that respectfully. Loving yourself, the better days ahead. Now, ever traded on me, always be yourself with no malicious intentions. Loving yourself is not a crime. And it's currently January 24th, 2026, and it's 10:35 p.m. I'm not age, and I would never hurt myself, regardless who's praying on my downfall, and I say respectfully. No mother or father or guardian should lose their child due to jealousy, envy, or insecurity, or someone sending someone an evil eye, or projected bulwark, or someone from their past doesn't want them to prosper in life, or someone from their past is monitoring their every move when that door's been closed a long time ago. And they have people plotting on somebody to rob them mentally, spiritually, or financially, or even send bulwark or send an evil eye towards somebody. And I say that respectfully. My content is not for everybody. No mother or father should have to get that phone call. Guardian should get that phone call to identify their child because their child decided to say, I'm changing my life for all the right reasons. And it was never for likes and views or clout chasing or fame, regardless if that child came from poverty and pain, or regardless if that mother or father came from poverty and pain. And I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone, and that's okay. No mother or father should have their child stripped away from them because of someone's lack of self-control when it comes to their discipline, because they don't want a mother and father to be mentally stable. They don't want a mother and father to have hope, but then at the end of the day to love their child, to have balance, because they already paying a mother and father to be, hold on one second, they don't got the proper credentials to be a good parent. They're already trying to blackmail a mother and father to paint them out to be the villain. They're already putting a little bug in somebody's ear to make a mother and father feel at the end of the day that their voice doesn't matter. When a mother and father's a protector, when a mother and father shows up good day, bad day, misunderstanding day, even sick days, they wasn't trying to be their child's friend. They allowed their child to know that they had a safe place. They was a provider, good day, bad day, and misunderstanding, and they still are because they still doing a proper healing. To know at the end of the day that that door is still a safe place for their child to come home to. When something, hold on one second, a mother and father was built in something called home. My content is not for everyone. And I say that respectfully, it's not. I love to talk about love. I haven't checked on the obvious that one on my list. It is It is currently 10:32 p.m. Love is real. Hold on one second. Love is real, love is one of a kind, with the right one truly for you. Even when you get lost in your words, that butterfly actually hits different. Having butterflies in your stomach, they would never understand your reflection. Chemistry, hold on one second, wasn't blindsided. LOV actually hits different when it comes to two words colliding together on the most healthiest way. Someone allowed you to see it wasn't pain at the end of the day, let alone someone fumbled you, someone knew how to respect you, who would have knew that chemistry actually allowed you to see that, hold on one second, someone could truly be faithful to you. Someone brought peace and joy into your life, respecting you, treat you right. They wasn't trying to have their cake and eat it too. Y'all both was on the same page when it come to communicating better days ahead. Who would have knew at the end of the day someone wasn't trying to make you feel, hold on one second, uncomfortable in your own skin when it come to motivation. Someone didn't have a hand problem. They wasn't trying to rob you mentally, spiritually, or financially. They wasn't trying to send you in the wrong direction because someone actually was truly praying, even in between. Midday, evening, night, just because moments, just someone could treat you right. They didn't have to manipulate God when they loved you at the end of the day. That LOV actually hits different when someone truly show you that, hold on one second, y'all can relate. That energy is different. When flirting stages allow you to see that, hold on one second, and continued. Conversation that was far from points at the end of the day. Who would have knew that someone truly sees you? Because someone brought peace into your life. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just because moments. You know how when someone said that you was pointless at the end of the day when it come to your past because they fumbled you, they trying to spin the block the day, but God was directing you. God allowed you to see where that door closed for all the right reasons. How you're maturing looks truly beautiful in you today. You're beautiful, you're handsome. Only by hold on one second, you can relate to your reflection because you put the proper healing work within to understand that, hold on one second, better days ahead, even when folks are pretending. Folks is send you the evil lie, trying to kick you down, saying that LOV is not real. But who would know at the end of the day, God allowed you to see your biggest cheerleader was truly cheering you on, up close in person, behind closed doors. That elevation is different. Someone walked into your life. They see you, they hate you, respect you. It went from 1 year to 2 years to 3 years to 40 years. Who would have known you put a name in your book when someone truly shows at the end of the day that LOV is not supposed to hurt? Someone truly showed you the balance when it comes to unconditional love. Hold on one second, that healing is different. When it comes to toxic love, don't live in your vocabulary today. My content is not for everybody, and I say it respectfully, and that's okay. Today is currently January 24th, 2026. I go live every night on YouTube at 10:15 p.m. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I go live every night on YouTube at 10:15 p.m. When it comes to my creativity, I work alone. I always have since day one. I would never hurt myself regardless of praying to my downfall, and I say respectfully, regardless of what zip code, county, community, country, or whatever case may be. I would never hurt myself. Loving yourself is not a crime. Healing is different. That within that beauty, hold on one second, they would never understand how you allowed yourself to see your reflection. Allowing yourself to feel that, hold on one second, it's okay to mature, even when folks try to discourage you, even try to pray on your downfall. Who would have knew that self-love is different? Allow me to see that you're passing me a reality today. Who would have knew that, hold on one second, I love me. Not only do I love me, but I chose me. We hold on, pray the same, but God allowed you to see. Believe in faith they couldn't relate to it wasn't a mistake. How God stepping for you all the way. You know, even when folks is praying on your downfall, sin is spoken, attacks way, trying to kick you down when it comes to your world, to hold on a second, God should be allowed to see why God is fixing your crown for all the right reasons, even when you're lost in your words. You know, practice makes perfect. You know, when it came to that doctor, that lawyer, that business owner, that teacher, they had the practice to understand that, hold on one second, I'm just getting better with my perfection. Only because the hold on one second, I chose myself to love myself, even when it's thing called balance. You had to heal certain wounds, still dealing with time and day. They would never understand. Hold on one second. I wasn't trying to get confused by the devil, alone, the enemy. When they try to shortchange me, my attention span, that energy is different when it comes to having confidence. You know, healing childhood trauma, going to your adulthood, regardless of your vocabulary, your culture, your religion, your sexual orientation, your disability, or your age. Never get discouraged by the enemy at the end of the day, because practice makes perfect. They would never understand you was far from pretending being a hater was in your vocabulary. You understood childhood trauma almost lost you. You almost allowed yourself to feel at the end of the day, I'm not worthy. Because someone didn't know how to love you, respect you, protect you. Only rest the hold on one second. You allowed yourself to feel I wasn't trying to lose me. You said I want to become my best soul vision of myself. Allow myself to hold myself. You know, hug yourself when it comes to looking in the mirror. I chose myself regardless to overlook me. You know, that childhood trauma went into your adulthood. But allowing yourself to feel safe within your own skin because someone didn't protect you, allowed you to see at the end of the day, you had to face your own reality regardless who's projecting on you. The disrespect was real, but you understood at the end of the day, I was only keeping it real when it came to my reflection regardless who was throwing negative energy towards me. I continue to call my energy back every single day. I'm very so much thankful that God didn't make a mistake. I was far from hold on one second. Not losing me. Thank you, God, for being patient with me. Love yourself, don't dim your light. Love yourself, don't dim your light. Love yourself, don't dim your light. Cause you matter, you're worthy. The energy is different. It's gonna be folks when they come to prospering. They not gonna understand that failure wasn't part of your vocabulary when it came to hold on one second. Authenticity starts within. Regardless of praying to get downfall, they would never understand that respect is different. You chose yourself at the end of the day, not to hurt yourself with your own vocabulary. Regardless to hold on one second, someone didn't want you to prosper in life. But God was showing at the end of the day, being misunderstood by someone that didn't know how to understand you at the end of the day, allows you to see why you continue to tie your shoe. No, ever trade though, because you wasn't trying to trip off this thing called life. I gotta go. You know, my content is not for everybody, and that's okay. Always be yourself with no misintentions. I go live every night on YouTube at 10:15 p.m. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, every night at 10:15 p.m. I would never hurt myself regardless who's praying to my downfall. At Naya, genuine love, respect. Loving yourself is not a crime, and it's not a crime to be authentic. When it comes to my creativity, I work alone, regardless of trying to black me against me. You know, regardless if you're an entrepreneur or not, or even a content creator, never get discouraged because someone is praying to get downfall. Someone doesn't want to see you prosper in life. And I say that respectfully. A vision they couldn't relate to. That was having hope within. You understand, hold on one second. If I actually choose myself and things that truly work out for the best, hold on one second. You wasn't trying to mislead yourself when it came to that conversation that day. You put things in God's hand. Hold on one second. Walking by faith. You walk by faith when it come to sight and day. They would never understand you was far from pretending because you put the proper footwork in. Even when they was trying to dish you, disrespect you, so you wasn't going to elevate to become your best self vision of yourself. LOVE starts within. Who would have knew that a challenge within a challenge at the end of the day allow you to blossom, allow you to see your reflection at the end of the day, how you look in the mirror at the end of the day to say, hold on one second, I'm very so much thankful I overlooked me. And just different. You know, my content is not for everyone, and I say that respectfully. You know, I don't push God on nobody at the end of the day, and I say that respectfully. But when God sends the right people into your life, they see you, they hear you, they respect you, and they don't got malicious intentions. And I say respectfully. They act in their body weight, not their shoe size. That respect is different when someone truly shows you, hold on one second, the blessings actually multiply. Who would have known? The right folks is actually rooting you on good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. Who would have knew regardless if you had a speech problem, going through sickness or whatever the case may be, someone actually hears you to respect you, regardless of your trials and tribulations. At the end they wasn't trying to dish you, let alone disrespect you. They ain't have malicious intentions. They wasn't looking at you like competition. They ain't have the devil and dad with magic or spoke at the end of the day to confuse you. They wanted to respect you at the end of the day, you know, because they truly not for you. They know how to keep it pushed. At the end of the day, they ain't got time for that hate or let on that train. It be the train of thought for me. How folks will truly show you at the end of the day could truly relate. Regardless, because they came from poverty and pain. They know how it feels for folks not to be body solid, don't be authentic. They dealt with enough fake it, when it comes to folks' projection. They wasn't trying to deal with that type of pain or mind games. Let alone showing shortchanging their mental health when it comes to growth. How individuals, when they truly walk into you, like they truly want to see you woke. They want you to become your best self vision of yourself, authentic. That's how they met you at the end of the day. Hold on one second. They want you to continue to balance that faith. That energy is different when it comes to confidence. Even on your ring day at the end of the day, someone still cheering you on. Up close a person behind closed doors. Hold on one second. Even when you're past trying to project, hold on one second. Malicious intentions, how they praying on your downfall, but who would have knew? God allows you to see why you truly smile more. You know that prayer within the prayer? Regardless if you got family or not, at the end of the day, you always ask God for the right people to be in your life with no misintentions. Who would have knew someone was really praying for you, not against you? Your vocabulary when it come to get past, don't live in your reality today. You wasn't running from your self-reflection when it come to get past, but you just don't understand how to better you. Or walk in the light at the end of the day, that who would have knew at the end of the day, taking account for your action actually hits different. Because when the right people see you, hear you, they act in their body where you have to shoe size. They ain't have to dim your light when it come to hold on one second, telling the devil lies. We all don't pray the same, but when individuals truly for you, they fall from haters. They ain't got to gang up with different groups and different tags bracket, humiliate you, make you feel unworthy. Being a truth teller, folks actually respect you. You ain't got malicious intentions, let alone hurt you. You was actually speaking up for yourself when it come to folks having malicious intentions towards you. But never get discouraged, and I say that respectfully. Dealing with this type of stuff since a child point of view, going into your adulthood, but who knew it had to take this long for folks to actually respect you? Never get discouraged by the enemy or the devil. And I say that respectfully. When you fall from a hater, then have to pretend to love you. The right people see you, hear you, respect you, and I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone, and that's okay. It's currently 10:47 p.m. And I'm Naya, genuine love, respect, and I would never hurt myself, and I say that respectfully. Loving yourself is not a crime. It's not. You matter and you are worthy. Love yourself, don't dim your light. Never get discouraged by the devil or the enemy. Yeah, they watching, they paying attention, but that didn't stop you. Well, don't discourage you. When they project, hold on one second, they don't want you to have the potential of betting yourself when it comes to trust issues. They got lack of self-control when it comes to their own discipline. They couldn't even trust themselves when it comes to their own reflection, or because you had faith to understand why you stepping. Even when they got the evil eye towards you at the end of the day, understand how you balance rainy days when they said nobody gonna hear your voice because they trying to kick you down, discourage you. They poisoned your food, your narcotics, or whatever the case may be. They try to abuse you mentally, make you feel unstable at the end of the day. When it came to that domestic violence situation, that hate crime, who would have known at the end of the day that, damn, you found you still dealing with gang stalking, hate crime, discrimination. You put a name in your book, racism. The storyline continues, goes on, because it's your story at the end of the day that you can only tell. Can't nobody tell your life story better than you. And I say that respectfully, allowing you to see why you're comfortable in your own skin, understanding why you found balance to love yourself another day. Never allow someone to dim your light when it comes to the intuition. Have the trait, though, be all by yourself. I may not make sense to the average person, and that's okay. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. I go live every night on YouTube at 10:15 p.m. I'm Naya, genuine respect. Never allow a man or a woman to threaten your life because they're willing to paint you out to be mentally unstable, crazy, slow, stupid, retarded, whatever the case may be, and they threaten your life that nobody's going to hear you because they decide to take your kindness or weakness. Never get discouraged, and I say it respectfully. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect, and my content is not for everyone, and that's okay. I would never hurt myself regardless of praying my downfall. When it comes to my creativity, I work with my Heavenly Mother, my Heavenly Father God, and I say respectfully, I don't worship the devil. Good day, bad day, all misunderstanding, and my soul was never for sale. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect, and my content is not for everyone. Misunderstood and loved by you, far from a hate to stop the violence in the community. Love yourself, don't dim your light, let alone get discouraged by the enemy. Hey, the trait though for me. Loving yourself is not a crime, and I say it respectfully. Never give up on yourself because someone doesn't want you to become your best self version of yourself. What practice makes perfect. Even when you mess up, becoming that, driver, whatever the case may be. Before you got behind the wheel, you had to practice. It was a test before a test. Then you had to get behind the wheel to understand that, hold on one second. If I can do this, I can understand balance when it comes to life. Never get discouraged, and I say that respectfully, because the will is in your hands. They will never understand that. You had to take self-control. It had to be balance to allow you to see, to understand that you have to have hope within, to believe in faith while you continue to show up for yourself every single day. And especially when you got God in your life, when God is behind the wheel, God is not going to mislead you, regardless to who's trying to kick you down. Practice makes perfect, and I say that respectfully. Regardless to what job description or what it is you're trying to do in life, and especially when you ain't got malicious intentions. You know, my content is not for everybody. Never give up on yourself regardless who's praying to your downfall. You matter and you are worthy. To the genuine ones, malicious intentions, I truly hope all is well in your end, and I say that respectfully. You know, someone didn't know how to love you, respect you, protect you, or even meet you halfway. You know, they didn't see you, hear you, or respect you. But who would know at the end of the day? The right people would never overlook you. And I say that respectfully because you are worthy and you do matter. Regardless of who's trying to kick you down and say that you didn't have potential, never allow yourself to hurt yourself with words when it comes to prospering in life. And I say that respectfully. We all don't pray the same, but I'm far from a hater. No, that's the train. Don't always be yourself and no molesters. Loving yourself is not a crime. Misunderstood and loved by you, far from a hater. Stop the violence in the community. It's not a crime to be yourself. I would never hurt myself regardless of praying to my downfall. Today is currently January 24th, 2026, and it's currently 10:51 p.m. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect, and I'm far from a hater. Regardless of your tags break, and I say that respectfully. Never hurt yourself because someone's trying to pray on your downfall. You matter and you are worthy, and you are loved by the right people that actually see you, blood related or not, at the end of the day. Never give up on yourself, and I say that respectfully. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect. Stop the violence, it's 10:52 p.m. Gotta go, stop the violence.